There are a lot of myths that surround mosquitoes, and I'm going to go through some of them and tell you whether they have any validity or if they're just totally out there. One myth that people have about mosquitoes is that there's just one mosquito type out there that bites people. There's actually nearly 4,000 different species of mosquitoes on the planet. Some of them are the worst and bite people and transmit disease. Others you would hardly know ever exist. They bite frogs or salamanders, they don't transmit any disease, and you wouldn't even know they were there. Another myth that I encounter is that mosquitoes don't do any good for the world. Now, I don't want to be misheard here. Those mosquitoes that transmit disease to people, we could do without. If we could get rid of them, great. But most mosquitoes are actually not dangerous to people, rarely encounter people, many never bite people, some couldn't even bite people if they wanted to. Many mosquitoes do a lot of good things for the planet. One thing that people don't think about is that mosquitoes are able to take advantage of these very short-lived aquatic environments. And they essentially move nutrients from these kinds of environments, like a flood pool, up into the terrestrial ecosystem. And so those mosquitoes are moving nutrients from this aquatic environment, and then they're getting eaten by spiders, by bats, by birds, and moving those nutrients into this other environment. Another thing that people don't realize is that mosquitoes actually pollinate plants. So they're important in that pollination process. Now there's even some plants, particularly some orchids, that specialize on mosquitoes. They produce smells that attract the mosquito, a little bit like the way that we produce smells that attract the mosquito. Another role that mosquitoes play is in that aquatic environment. So when they're in that aquatic environment, if there are fish or dragonflies or other predators, they're going to be eating those mosquito larvae, and that's going to provide nutrients to those predators. Another myth that I encounter is that any mosquito will feed on somebody, whether it's a male or a female. But in mosquitoes, only the females feed on people. They need your blood to make eggs, and that's the only reason they're taking your blood. Now it turns out when they take your blood, that sometimes they get other things that go with it. Even things like a pathogen, a virus, worm, or a parasite that can be transmitted to somebody else or some other animal. And that's kind of bad. But they're really just trying to get your blood to make eggs. And because they're making eggs, it's just the females that take your blood. So another myth that I encounter often is that burning a citronella candle or citronella oil in a tiki torch will repel mosquitoes. This has been well studied, and there's no evidence that citronella is an effective repellent. There are spatial repellents available on the market, but they're mostly pyrethroids of some kind, and they do work. So another myth is that mosquitoes die after biting one person. We know this isn't true because almost all of the diseases that are transmitted by mosquitoes have to be picked up in somebody. The mosquito then develops the blood into eggs, and the pathogen has to infect the head of the mosquito. And then this mosquito goes off and feeds on somebody else. And you can see that for that to happen, she can't just die right after feeding somebody. She has to live for a little while, lay her eggs, and then feed on somebody else. So all of the damage that we see to humanity from dengue fever, Zika fever, chikungunya, malaria, dog heartworm to your pet, all comes from a female mosquito that has fed and not died, but survived long enough to transmit that pathogen. One other myth about mosquitoes is that they're only nocturnal. They only come out at night like a vampire. But the truth is, mosquitoes can be active almost any time of day. It does depend on the species of mosquito. The ones that are very active in the day are less active at night. But almost any time you go into a place where there are lots of mosquitoes, even if they'd rather be sleeping, they'll happily wake up and feed on you. Another myth I've heard is that mosquitoes are attracted to people with sweet blood. And although I don't know exactly what sweet blood means, we do see differences between people, and there is an association with blood type. People with type O blood do seem to be slightly more attractive to mosquitoes than people with A or B or AB blood.